Mine was a little disappointed.
Wild sound, men entering conference room. More wild sound, general presence, conference room.
Gentlemen, if you will look toward the photographers behind you, some of you, or right or left, we can improve your picture. The front of your face looks better than the side.
The photographer up high, is that the one?
That's the one.
Oh, that's the one.
That's the one that counts.
Who's the fellow on top of the filing?
One more, please, sir. Sir. Thank you.
Now, if we can call the meeting to order, our own staff members that we have here are J.R. Fuchs, the Chief of the Oral History Project, and Philip D. Lagerquist, Research Archives. Would you like to introduce some of your staff over here?
Fine. Well, we have with us our current research associate, Professor Richard Ruetten, who's at the table, or the foot of the table. And then our senior research associate who will come on the project beginning next September, Professor Theodore Wilson, from Kansas.
All right, I believe that's the necessary introductions. Now, the minutes of the previous meeting have been circulated in advance. I believe, Mr. Secretary, no one objected to the
cameras in the meeting. We will also have in the auditorium. We have commissioned a film, motion picture film, about the Truman Library to be produced by Calvin Productions. In the city, this will be a 5-minute film that and to people in the library. Since that time, the newsletter has expanded very considerably. It's still up to now secretary, and is the practice in some other institutions. I've usually put my name at the bottom of it, although I particularly want to call attention to myself. Board, I trust the board agrees that we should now request is the Institute, but a brief reference to some of the major activities of the library and a list of the holdings of the library as of that time. I take it the board would agree that we ought to. But the cost has gone up to, whereas I originally estimated in 1961 it would be about $200,000 a year. Now, if somebody thinks that Maybe somebody would like to bring that up under new business, otherwise we can simply continue to normal activity at Secretary's office. In addition to the foreign aid phase of our research project, special research project, Doyle and other positions in the Truman administration, either didn't have time to talk or were reluctant to talk while they were still in service. Not many of them have retired, and I think more of them will be willing to talk. In addition, and perhaps more important, into foreign relations for the written and printed fully available as they are now. The State Department is just now beginning to open the papers for 1945 because they govern the volume of their published. There are still some Truman papers on foreign relations, a small quantity. We don't know how important, but we don't yet have. We hope to have in the future. Now, one reason that we have not expended, you know how we've been paying for the oral history work done so far, it has been nearly all paid for out of our museum. We probably will pay for more out of the appropriated funds. Now, I would suggest that perhaps a more appropriate to the agenda to talk first the Franklin D. Roosevelt Library, Franklin D. Roosevelt and Foreign Affairs. These cover the period from 90. So you see there is a time lag there. And maybe we won't be doing too badly if we 3 or 4 years yet. I think, Mr. President, that's all that I have to say. Supplementing the report.
So, Mr. Brooks, Mr. Secretary, this is all of them.
Not quite. Very conscious I could act in letter calls.
I'm not sure.
Dean Anstey,
I'm not
W.D.
sure.
Ashbacher, William P. Boyd, Lyman H. Butterfield, Oscar L. Chapman, Henry S. Comminger.
Wild sound.
Is there a, I don't recall whether there's a limitation of the articles of the corporation or this conference on. I was very much impressed by John Hope Franklin's interest in this whole library in this field, and I hope that someone like him might be elected. Refer that to the committee as a possibility.
As to the constitutional limitation, we are limited. We've increased the limit.
And Mr. Francis Heller be renominated to their respective positions.
Second the motion.
And moved and seconded, as you've heard. Any discussion? Mr. Ambassador, would you put in that group?
Any argument? All those in favor signify in the usual manner.
Aye.
I hear no objections. Carried.
Thank you.
Congratulations to us all that you are re-elected.
Well, of course, when you've got a secretary and a treasurer like we have, why, this is a soft job. Isn't it, Francis? Yes.
Clear demonstration of the effectiveness of the program going on. Result, the committee would like to continue the program pretty much on a present basis, and is presenting the following resolution, which, after I read it, I will ask for the official member of the board to move to adoption of it. Whereas the Harry S. Truman Library Institute for National and International Affairs seeks to
My very easy but essential duty to ask the board to endorse this in the form of voting a motion, which I hereby make, that this renewal for the calendar year 1970 be approved by the members of the board.
Do we have a second? Second. Moved and seconded, as you heard, any discussion? All-
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I have no objection to the resolution as read. It seems to me to cover the subject admirably. I would, however, like to emphasize one phase of it, which may seem to have been passed over rather quickly, and the suggestion that the grants take in.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary, no. Next is a report on of the Committee on the David D. Lloyd Prize by Professor Blaisdell.
At the time of the original announced meeting of this board, which had to be postponed, the very first polling which was taken indicated that all of the members of the board who had read these books decided that this was number one without any discussion at all. So that I think I've never had quite that kind of an experience before with this sort of operation. This shortens the period of submission.
Saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary, no. Now I have the report of the Committee on Honorary Fellows by Mr. Joe McGee.
Mr. President, because we